Well, hey, Radiant One. Welcome to episode number 61 of your Cosmic Mama podcast. I'm your hostess, Andy Murphy. Today, a solo cast, because I had things to share. Because as the world is kind of going bonkers, we might have a tendency to glitch. Don't. The old world is dying, the new one is coming in, but we don't know what the new one is. And so I kind of did today. I had notes. I was so excited to share with you. And we kind of did today with a little bit of Harry Styles as it was streaming through. So I'll probably drop that in at some point for you. And the activation of Oust is going to be available for you over in our halls of Akasa or at the Luminous Mysteries. We're in transition. I'm in transition. Are you? Whew. So we want to remind you that within our lots of opinions of a lifelong shaman, tips and tricks and ideas that may not totally jive with you, that come from this love that I hope anchors you more in the joy of your reality. Takes what works, leave what doesn't, and goodness me, if you're having a great time with this, would you please give us some stars? Tell a friend. Invite other people into this party because I think it's kind of where this all began, right? We want to serve, but we can't serve. We'll talk about more of that inside. But if you're enjoying this, tell a friend. Let's let this expansion of love, of potentiality, of possibility keep going. And you ready? We're going to do what we do, which is light a bowl, light a joint, light a candle, get something warm, as you step outside of the everyday pieces of your reality and into the infinite potentiality of all of your golden light and bliss. Let's go. I'll see you inside. Fuck me, y'all. Hey, I've been trying for an hour to get here to you. An hour. Internet not working. And I'm like, okay, I trust the flow. But I'm so excited to be here with you because I'm not whiny. That's my word. And that's not judgmental. It's just, my favorite podcasts are not the ones where I show up in my rawness, sorting things out with you. I would much rather sort them out for myself and bring you the golden nuggets, which is what today is all about. So before we embark on some mind-expanding ideas and some Harry Styles, hey, as it was, let's go ahead and just do a little bit of a clearing, which is what they're asking for very specifically right now. Closing your eyes and deepening your breath. And allowing yourself just to come into the present moment. Perhaps seeing in your field or seeing in your hands those things that are weighing upon you. As one by one you hand them back over to the divine. Handing people back to themselves to let them have their own damn lessons. Realize that your worry and concern is not really love. We can do better. As each of these items, things, is dissolved from your field, you can watch your own light expand. Fill yourself up with the perfection that is you. And aligning with that perfection, celebrating that perfection, asking that you receive here and now something that blesses you, something that anchors you more in your truth, And permission to not take ourselves so damn seriously. Shall we? Shall we not take ourselves so fucking seriously? Woo, y'all. Because what I want to share today, we've got a few pieces, so I'll go through the list and we'll do our best. But let's just start by recognizing, like, in my lived moment, we just had that new moon in Aquarius. And fuck, every astrologer and everybody was talking about, like, oh my God, it's going to feel so different. It's going to feel so different. And I don't know if you're like me, but like, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. And it's not that hope is lost, because I don't fuck with hope anymore. Hope doesn't always come back. I know me. I know the truth of my destiny. I know where things are going. So hope just feels like, well, it feels old, right? Doesn't hope feel old? And as I've been playing with what I wanted to say today and like organizing the thoughts of it, you know, there's nothing better than Harry Styles as it was. Well, you know, I'm a Harry fan, so let's be real. But things are not the same. Things aren't the same. And what I can say from 1 week ago, we're 1 week, not even 1 week. Tomorrow will be 1 week from the new moon. My entire reality has shifted. So I want to talk about not mine, but our collective experience of this a little bit. Mine, I'm keeping under wraps right now because I'm nurturing it really good. Because what? I've had to clear out my own limitations of like, can it be that easy? Can it just be that good? Oh my fuck. Cool. Let it expand. Let it expand. Let it expand, and let it settle in. And then hold. And hold. And don't fucking tell anybody. And hold. So it's not the same. Because reality done broke, y'all. Like that? That's the first thing on my list. Reality done broke. So what we have at this moment is, hopefully, you know who you are. If not, listen to Marilyn's podcast. Check out some time with her. You know what you're here to do. And then where we keep getting stuck is in the how. Fuck the how. Fuck the how. I've handed all of my hows over to Thoth. Nope, you know how to do that. And from the latest Black Panther movie, how is not as important as why. So please don't mess with the hows. Come into the why. Why do I want this? Why does it feel good? Why does it excite me? Because in the broken reality, where you are likely glitching is in old stories, in old things, in the things that are dying, right? They're the old fears. Okay, and fuck, y'all, you've been doing such a good job noting that, healing that, tending that. So whenever it comes up again, it's often a loop. It's not really there. And what they keep reminding me is, are you living in the old world, or are you living in the world that is coming? I'm like, hold on, I forgot. So I've been kind of visualizing, like, instead of like hitching to this old thing, no, I need to pivot around here. And I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing there yet. Yeah, we're writing the stories. It's all being created. And we have people like Marilyn and others who are creating this architecture through a new world. The way that I keep seeing it is like, we're building a bridge. We don't know how to build the bridge, and we don't know where that bridge is going. But you need to be on the bridge and not on this crumbling thing. Thanks. Let's also just give one moment of note for sometimes our fears and concerns for like who's not working on a bridge at all and who we're going to lose over there. They have every opportunity to remember. They have every blessing and gift to come online in the same ways that you have. So you can be a radiant fucking way shower for them. Your concern and your worry is just an addiction to suffering. Please don't. You wanting to help them? That's ego. Because they don't want your help. If they did, they'd be asking. So instead, like, you're over here building this bridge, radiant little fucking being of all light and all potentiality. They'll see you and they'll begin asking. Let them ask. Let them recognize that not all are in the same level of panic, suffering, pain that they are. Because this, we are there. These are absolutely the death throes of the old. We're in the final phases of it. I keep saying that. It keeps feeling like I'm saying that. So we want to keep affirming, I'm here for the new. Yep, I'm here for the new. Not going to glitch on that thing. I'm here for the new. Fair? And then I want you to also anchor into oust a little bit. We'll probably do an activation on that a little bit later. But that oust, you can just come into you. And it's not that nothing exists outside of you. It's that you're in sexy ass creation with everything that does exist and will exist. So you being able to come back into you, into the seat of your own knowingness, into the throne of your badassery. Affirm you're here for the new. Buckle up and take the ride. It's kind of how it's going right now. The other thing that I've noticed this week for me is, how you used to have that one big thing and you're like, oh my God, that all just shifted. No, there's not just one. It's all of it at once. All of it at once. So recognizing that instead of that being chaotic or mania, wait, my capacity just expanded. Holy fuck, I can do all of those things at once. So I've got two things that we're working on for you. And in my mind, I'm like, no, sequential. And they're like, why? No. Be multidimensional. Okay, let's do it all. Okay. All the things that I'm excited about? Yes. Things I'm not excited about? Which is why I'm here with you today. I'm excited to do this. Because what I can say, you ready? 2022, what did I learn? One of the big takeaways, there's a few. I walked my talk. In 2020 and 2021, there was so much trauma going on that I just kept teaching feverishly. 2022 stepped back and I'm like, wait, I'm gonna embody this differently. And didn't we? And in that embodiment, I only do the things that bring me joy. Yeah. How's that going? Well, we're finding out. I'm like, new experiments. So try the new experiments and watch for when you're fighting for a system, for an ideology, for people who don't really want to pivot into the new. Don't fight for the old stuff. Don't fight for the stuff that hurts. Don't fight for the stuff that suffers. And I can say that rather casually, and I understand the actuality of that, the repercussions of that, the putting that into action is hard. Yes. I had a client say to me the other day, well, you got divorced because you knew that you would be okay. And I'm like, what? No, I didn't. In those moments when we make the hard decisions, all that we have is a faith in ourselves and a desire for it to be better. There's not much more to anchor onto in there, which is also where hope would get very tricky for me, because in that place of hope, hope for me was a little delusional. I've had to clean that up. I trust in me first. Primary relationship, me first. Hey, 2022. And I was joking with somebody today, and I'm like, my motto for 2022 was, if you fall down, just don't stay down. It was fucking fast and furious, wasn't it? So we have the as it was, and then we want to come into the what it was is being revealed. I certainly have spent plenty of time in conspiracy circles. You don't get to be a shaman starting from the age of 5 without recognizing that the world is rigged in some way. And in the understanding of that, in trying to make sense of that, you end up in weird ass rabbit holes. So all is forgiven if you followed Q for a little bit. All is forgiven if Q still makes sense to you. I certainly was there myself. It's okay. I did an episode for you guys. It was a hidden one that I called Out of the Q, because that QAnon thing, as it got deeper, I was like, oh God, how did we get there? And you've heard of this woo to Q pipeline, which is kind of cute. So regardless of where your beliefs are, all that I want to keep reminding you is Does it feel better inside of your, no, what do we want to fucking say about that? It's tricky, right? Because what I found with Q at times, like it gave hope. And then it was just shitballs crazy. Okay. And let me also say, like, I was part of the Q stuff way before the Anon got there. David Wilcock was talking about it. I don't know when that was. It would have been like closer to the 2016-17 era. So like there was a whole movement of insider information and energies that were working for a little bit. And then we got to a different place where like, oh my God, that just all, okay. Don't hitch yourself to anything that goes shitballs crazy, please. And if those things fire you up and give you justification, be careful with that. Because we want to anchor in peace. We want the things that might be illuminating, but fill us with peace, not anger, not rage. Anger and rage certainly will be a part of your awakening. Of course it is. When you realize how fucked over we've been. You have a right to be angry. Using that anger toward anything not beneficial, using that anger to light the fucking fire so you participate in truth and you're like, no, thanks. It's okay. So as more truth, capital T truth comes out, we realize it's not been all love and light. No, it has not. And it's a fascinating thing because it's also not all shadows, right? You can't do all shadow work. So anytime that we're in the all of anything, we're in trouble. We get to just keep coming back again to ourselves and be like, okay, how does it feel in this nervous system? How does it feel in this body? Because your role in the days ahead, your role right now, take care of you, always take care of you. Primary relationship, take care of you. And many of us will be in a role of service. But if you're trying to help others, that's not service. It's still some level of codependence. It's still some level of seeing others as needing help and perceiving a world as one of suffering. Not the fucking game, babe. Pivot, bridge. Pivot, bridge. Pivot, bridge. Because your ask is going to be to escort out and usher in. You're escorting out whatever does not work. No, thank you beliefs. Those are ridiculous. Not going to do that anymore. And we are ushering in something new. And in your role of service for other beings who are waking up, you will teach them to do the same for themselves. You will not save them. You will not help them. You will not illuminate them. The best we can do is pave paths for them. And those of us who are serving in the healing arts, it's art, baby. It's creation. We can collaborate with others in their healing journey. We can give guidance in their healing journey. Can't fix shit. Can't help, can't save, can't rescue. Gross, who wants to? Because that's a giving away of power. So it's subtle, but it's not. So right now we're in it and things are perhaps coming up to the surface where you're like, what the fuck? I didn't know that's what was going on. It's okay. So forgive yourself for not having known. God, that's the constant, isn't it? I didn't know better. I do now. I didn't know better. I do now. I didn't know better. I do now. So your beliefs are being challenged. Relationships are being challenged. Work. Oh, fuck. You want to talk about work? The way you worked, the reason you worked, the why that you worked is all changing and being challenged. Because your gifts are expanding and something radically new is coming in. Something that we can't see yet. So I also say that, right? The frustration of it is like, we can't see it, but I can feel it. It's a frequency that I can anchor into, but I can't see what it is because it's not utopia, because that's also fallacy. Nothing is rescuing us. Nothing is saving us. There is going to be no perfect world. It's not just all going to flip with a switch. No. But what I keep seeing bright lights coming online, us linking together, and those new webs are created. Those new pathways are stabilized by our love. And not our love for anything, our love here, our certainty here. It feels good, doesn't it? So the gifts are expanding as well. So I'll share 2 examples of that because I think we talked a little bit about in that last round of the Akashic in our Akashic Mystery School called Activate. Those of us who participated in that, oh my God, things came online. Those things are coming online for everybody, but when you're in a mystery school container working with both, things just kind of intensify in different ways. So 2 new abilities that I can recognize this week that showed up for me. Thanks. Let me talk about this gently and delicately, which is I have always been a psychopomp. Psychopomp, soul conductor. Shamanically speaking, these would be the souls that help. These would be the beings that help souls get to the other side. Psychopomping. So when we work in the ghost realms, yeah. When we work in the hospice realms, yeah. Anything with death where a soul needs to move would be a form of psychopomp. And we've got beautiful death doulas. We've got beautiful beings who are really committed to death being a compassionate gateway. We need that in our world. Nobody needs to be suffering. And certainly not whenever there are other choices. Thank you. That being said, I have heard of a technique to help souls unlock from a body and leave this world. Okay. I had a client last week whose family member asked for my help in that way. And I'm like, oh shit. I've heard of such a thing. Let me see what I can do. After 1.5 years, this lovely gentleman passed away within 3 days of our work. Oh, thank goodness. And then I sat in the place of like, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could do that. And that to me is like the art of shamanism. I don't know. I ask spirit, they inform me, and it works. I didn't know I could do that. The very next day, a depossession. Unlike anything I have seen before. We're not going to talk about that much here, other than it's not all light and love. And the severity of this possession, damn, causing a great deal of suffering to an individual and her family. And in that instance, I couldn't do it alone and I needed help. And you know who I asked for help? Robin Wiggs. I certainly fucking did. Robin Kimbrell Wiggs, my bestie, and by all of the blessings of all of the dimensions, she was there that day and could help. And as I was working with this client, I sent her like literally an SOS of like, I'm going to need some support. I'm going to need some help after this. So, it was a 2 shaman job that depossession required. And I think after that, I listened, I think it was to the Aubrey Marcus podcast with Paul Selig, where they were talking about embracing your shadows and like not casting the shadows outside of you and that it's all you. Yeah, and so I don't say anything about possessions and entities and attachments to scare you. I really just, to a couple of friends who checked in on me that day, I just did like hashtag shaman shit. This is a consequence of my job. All of our jobs have got some side effects and some minuses where we're like, yeah, this is just a consequence of my line of work. That was a consequence of my line of work. I knew what to do. I took care of myself. I asked for help. I cleansed myself. And we closed some fucking portals. And what was even more interesting was I was able to share it with my daughter because she watches her ghost shows and it doesn't have any veracity to it. It's just a story. It's just an experience. And so what I wanted to share with her was, what it looks like in real life, which is spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare can't exist in a love and light world. And from the mindset of listening to Aubrey and Paul in that moment too, all of these things are of me. Well, they aren't of me. They might be of this client. I don't know that that's... Beliefs are challenged is all that I want to say here. I don't know. I can see what was occurring. I knew that it was causing a great deal of suffering. I don't know that we've ever talked in full about the James Holmes clearing, the Colorado theater shooter. But that was another one of those where, like, I thought the world was this. I was wrong, and what the fuck, which could make us feel very unsafe. This instance, I wasn't unsafe. I was like, fuck yeah, my power just expanded. I have the ability to witness, to experience, to assist. And she got off the table. She's like, oh my God, Andy, I feel so much better. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And I also knew in that instance that my job wasn't to fix it. That wasn't possible. What I kept saying is like, my job is to clean you up to get you to the next safe step, which she had in place for herself. Great. And FYI universe, I don't like that fucking work. No more of that. Not my favorite thing to do. There's this shamanic practice of extraction. You've maybe seen shamans do it. And thank you. Let's also recognize that not all shamans use plants. Hey? So some shamans will use plant medicines. Don't have to. So extractions will often happen in plant ceremonies whenever the shaman is like sucking something out and then you've got to vomit it out. I don't like that. No. That's not what I participate in. Fuck off, y'all. I'll do mine with like rainbows and orgasms, please. I will transmute things with orgasms. I don't need to throw up. So yeah, just clarifying that for the universe. Not the work that I like. There are other shamans. Dig it. Love it. Want to do that all the time. Great, do it. I don't. And perhaps because I feel enough. I feel plenty of things without needing to like bring it into my body. I think it's a beautiful healing modality. It's not one that I want to do. So universe, done with the fucking faux exorcisms and depossessions and extractions. Nope, no more for this lady. And at the same time, when a client comes in who is suffering and is asking for help, cool. In those moments of help, I call in the guides. That was a very clear teaching from years ago. Like, it's not my job to like get in there and fix it. No. I've got fucking teams. Hey you. Can I say Heimdall? Oh, bless you, Heimdall. He was so fucking good. And I'm just like, I need a rainbow bridge. Like, rainbow bridge, keep it open. Let me get as many beings across as we can as we were getting them off of her. And thank you, honoring confidentially and all of that. But she and her family had lived in a very haunted home for over a decade. The experiences that they had in that home followed them. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And she's a fucking powerful ass being. So all of these things wanted to glom onto her to use her powers that she hasn't yet known how to claim. So that's where I can champion. I'm like, hold on. Magical fucking being. Like, can you claim your gifts for yourself? And then all of that stuff is just like, oh, she's going to use it. I can't hang out anymore. Yeah, fucking go. She's going to use it. It's hers. Claim your gifts. Use your gifts. And if you don't know how, ask to be shown. Cool. That asking to be shown in those moments, that to me, as I walked in it this last week, because that was just Monday and Tuesday. We're now at Friday. Monday and Tuesday, I don't know how to do that. And if you've ever worked in a private session with me, I don't know how to do that, y'all. What do you want here? It's why we have teams. It's why we build relationships with our spirit guides, with the ascended masters, with the angels. They have knowledge of these realms that I do not have. My job is to build the relationships. So I trust them. So if Jesus comes in, I'm like, yeah, I know that you've got this. Thank you so much. You can clear that out because I don't know how to do that. And remember, the how is not as important as the why. You don't need to know how. You need to have the hubris and the wisdom not to fucking get in there yourself and think you need to do it. You may not know how. And you will likely remember from a time before that you did. Ancient fucking being that you are, yes. You've done these things before. These are not complicated. These are not tricky. You may not have remembered at a cellular level or at a mental level yet, but whenever you engage in this dance of well-being and of spirit, we always can come back to love, can't we? And what are the pathways that we get back to love? Ask your guides to help. Don't try to get in there yourself. I know. I like my little Harry Styles, I know, it really goes all the way through. So, things are not as it was. We don't know what the hell it is. But here's what it may be. And we did a Akashic update on this of what I called the motherfucking VIPs. Or the MVPs. In both of those instances, whatever letters you want to use there, you're about to be real fucking cool. You will be called upon. The special gifts that you have, the talents that you have, the knowingness that you have, it's all getting amplified. Turning on louder. Don't deny it. Don't ignore it. I heard you. I don't necessarily need you to find somebody to teach you. I need you to practice on your own. That practice on your own, cool. You'll get burned by the fire. It's okay. There could be great teachers out there. There are great teachers out there. Let me not say that. But I think what we want to really be clear on is that you don't just keep trying to learn new things. That you don't just keep relying on other people's memories instead of your own. Yours are fucking precious. Your ability to bring yourself to it, bring your past lives to it, bring your expertise, bring your family lineage knowingness to it is really valuable. So giving away your power to go to somebody who teaches you how to use your powers, to me, it's like doctors, right? I want to know what's going on inside of this body before I just outsource my knowingness to somebody else. And I don't mean to be a dick about that. I just want to, if I'm having an issue, I'm going to ask my body what's going on before I get onto a Google. And doctors are great, aren't they though? When we need them, doctors are great, but I want this message today to be one of you claiming your knowingness of self, and then start here, and then expand. I like reading books that give me some of that expansion. Not that I'm going to be taking their knowledge and usurping it over my own. When I read books, which is not often, I read a lot of books, lit major, I'm very well read. But I've had to stop that level of input from coming in to remember what I am. And then there's things like existential kink, that all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know any of that thing. There's things that are liberating for us and that give us pathways back. But what I'm cautioning you around is don't take in the Googles and the other people's experiences of Archangel Michael. It's just what somebody else has remembered before you. Fuck off. Tarot and runes, there's honor and there's tradition and there's richness in the lineage, and there's thousands of years of evolution in that. You know that the original tarot was how they taught the Egyptian mysteries, right? We needed to hide those things so we could hide them in cards. The Egyptian Light deck. I'll put up a link to that. It's one that's really good because it's the teachings in there way older than what the Rider-Waite deck came out with. Remember for yourself, and then we get some resources to support that. You will be called upon. You will be needed. All of the things that you have hoped to be, you are. And because you are, and because you've gotten a head start, everybody's going to kind of look at you like, oh, great, we won't get too much of an ego. We'll make sure of that. But your beliefs don't really matter anymore. What you thought was real doesn't really matter anymore. What you think might be real, it's all irrelevant. You're creating something new. And with that, oh, thank you. They say there's no limitations, there's just boundaries. There's no limitations on what's possible, but you'll reach those boundaries of like, I don't really like that. Like me with extractions, depossessions. I don't really like that. Can I do that? Yeah. I don't really like it. Don't want to do more of it. Your love, being able to stay centered within heart, being able to be anchored within root. That's your authority. You and your love, you and your authority, fucking unstoppable. What I have actually written down is mighty. In your love and in your authority, you are mighty. So when you encounter those things where you're like, no more, set a boundary, which is what you heard me do here today, right? I'm setting a boundary. And that's not hard, and I'm not being a dick, and I'm not going to reject anyone. But I'm like, universe, I think I'm here for the expansion. I don't need to clean up so much of the other stuff that's going on, please. And that's okay. It's okay. So let's talk final piece today about how to get there. Haven't we already done that? Perhaps. But I loved this quote that I heard from Kai Pacha yesterday, which was, keep the faith in a transformed world. Anchor, pivot. Anchor, pivot. What could that be? I don't know. What do I want it to be? Keep the faith in a transformed future, because that is absolutely what's happening and what's coming in. When you find yourself in the fear, panic, contraction, it's going to be for an old world that is dying. Don't anchor to that one. That's not helpful. Don't anchor to the new one, because there's nothing to anchor to. Anchor to you, baby. We can't see what's ahead. Building a bridge to the unknown. Yep. Okay, let's talk about this. The presence. Thanks. I'm going to be teaching in March. We're going to have a 1-month mystery school, Akashic Primer, in March. Because your presence is potent. Your presence is your gift. Your presence is your present to the universe. That ability to be right here. To not go into past or future. Be right here. To, in that moment, choose joy. Joy is underneath your longing. Joy is underneath your addiction to suffering. Joy is the truth of everything in reality. This will be a little bit of what we're working on. Joy is your destiny. Hey. That's the class. Right now, that's the name that's coming in for our March class. We'll be launching it officially mid-February. The truth of reality is joy. And when you get outside of incarnational experiences, it's all joy, it's all bliss, it's all the time, which is where it gets boring. And you're like, I'm going to take on a body and go through some stuff. And so all that you experience here, good and bad, it's all feeling. The root underneath everything, joy. Your ability to navigate your way back to your own joy. Well, great. I'll be providing some tools and some activations and transmissions to support. But right now, your job, unlearn, remember. And yeah, this was the last Akashic update if you saw it in January. Unlearn, remember. You're unlearning what the world is, which can be very disorienting at times. It's confusing when we're like, I don't know, I thought. And the tendency at times is like, oh, I made a mistake. Well, cool. If you did, let's come back and correct it now. And forgive yourself, because whoever made that choice is not who you are now. Because fuck, you know how fast you're changing. It's ridiculous. It's also why I'm like, I don't need to get married to get... Why would I want it? No, I change too much. I'd rather partner with lovers in the masculine who can take this ride. And let's ride it for as long as we want. But trying to say that like forever. Oh, yeah, thanks. We're rewriting all the marriage stuff too, aren't we? Partnership stuff. Unlearning and remembering. And oftentimes in that unlearning, it can feel disrespectful to tradition. Yeah. I mean, you heard about my Christmas. Remember that? there's no tradition. That just all dissolved around me. Okay. Okay. That was a rocky start to 2023. And then we got to that new moon. I'm like, look how much changes so quickly. Don't judge yourself or think that you made a mistake for who you were then. You didn't. If you can instead like come into the now and like love that version, love every version in between, and not keep fighting for something that's dying. That's your very best option, baby. In that remembering, that's what we talk about in light body tech. It's putting you back in divine order. Member, each of you, putting pieces back together in divine order. What do you remember from past lives? What do you remember from ancient knowledge? What do you remember from unlimited consciousness? Alternate realities? Oh yeah, got to do that this week too. So three things that like, if I'm like, no, the world is this, I would lose out on the blessings of being able to witness how fucking cool and big this world is. Can I remind you just, the joy that I serve in, the joy that I serve through. Fuck. There is no session, there is no soul that is like any other. And it's really this great dance of each time I do sit down with a client, like, I have no fucking clue what's going to happen. No clue. It's wild. It's fascinating. And if I sat in any level of like, here's what I'm supposed to be, or here's what they need me to be, fuck all that. Show up my authority, show up in my authenticity, show up as like curiously playful with the universe, because you bring into session and into your reality all kinds of fucking things that I ain't got no clue exists. Cool. So thank you if you've sat with me. Thank you if you're thinking of sitting with me, for the opportunity to constantly expand. Damn! There's no fixed reality. There's no limitations on reality. And I don't believe in any way, don't feel in any way, that the destruction and devastation of the systems gets much worse than it does now. Nope. We're in it. I don't need you to fear what's to come. We're in it. You've survived it. Now is just you literally like unhooking from that thing and being like, okay, pivot bridge. Oh shit. Let's go. That bridge is made with love. That bridge is made in agreement with people who we resonate with. And whenever we don't resonate with them, it's okay. I know it feels really hard. Thank you. Empath, fucking Cancer, whatever stories and limitations of like my star chart that you want to put on things. I got lots of cool stuff in that star chart too, but isn't it funny that we let that limit us at times? When my daughter said to me yesterday that I can be too honest at times, and I disagree. There's not a brutality in my honesty. There's honest. There's, hello, have you met me? I come from love. I come from lots of love. I come from big love. I am the embodiment of love and mama on this goddamn planet and experience of humaning. Yes, I love. And because I love, I'm not going to lie to you either. She was trying on clothes. That's where we were at. If it does not make you feel like you're on fire and like, it's a no. Thank you. I know. Could I be a little more sensitive? Perhaps. But I'm not brutal in my honesty. I'm just honest. And that can be uncomfortable for people at times. Totally get it. Oh, here's what I found out. Did I tell you this yet? In that place of me not knowing myself, I needed to go back and look at some astrology readings that I had received. And Lynette Duncan, Oracle of Your Soul, damn, did she come right in and reminded me. I've got Uranus in my first house in Scorpio. She's like, people don't always like you. You're a disruptor. When she said it in July, when I had the reading, July of 2022, when she said that, I think I glitched a little bit. And now that I hear it, having gone through that journey of like where I am and who I am now, I'm like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. So if you don't drive with me, you don't drive with me, and I'm okay with that. I thankfully set down somewhere along the way the need for everybody to like me. And whenever I'm not driving with somebody, I can apologize for that because it doesn't feel good, but I'm not going to participate so that they feel better. That was a very profound recognition for me in my own journey of self-love, is that I was often willing to suffer so that other people didn't have to. I'm not anymore. I'm not going to keep lying to you or like keep staying in this relationship so that you feel better. No. I don't need to suffer so that you don't have to face your suffering or face your truth. No, I ain't got time for it. And thank you. I say that I know. I said that dismissively. I don't mean to sound so dismissive. I don't choose to. It's not how I participate in love. It's not how I participate on this planet. It's not that I ain't got time for it. Hello, sassy. Time doesn't exist. I choose not to engage in that level of a false reality. No. I'm here for the play. I'm here for the infinite. I'm here for the expansion. I'm here for the love. I'm here for the new love. I'm here for the new relationships. I'm here for like what these little fucking monkeys can do. That's why I incarnated. Over and over, it's why I incarnate. How are we doing down here? Where are we in this mass ascension? And fuck, do we want to talk about ascension? No, we don't, because how could you? Is ascension something that we're doing? Is it something that we're in? Is it something like, am I going to sprout wings one day? My understanding of what ascension was in okay, I know. How far back do you want to go with that? I'm trying to think of how far back I want to go. Like I was reading ascension stuff like 94, 95, 96. Very different than what we're in right now. I don't think that there's any like one thing that's going to happen. So even in this bifurcation, which might be a languaging that makes sense to me some days, I don't know. Where am I? I'm here for the new. Hey, who am I? I'm here for the new. And my wounds and my lessons are in the old. I'm sure we'll have wounds and hold on. Will we have wounds in there? No. We'll have lessons. Let's not bring our wounds to it. That's probably why we've been doing so much shadow work, huh? We can't bring wounds to that because the wounds are of a dying world. Long saw, motherfucker. Long saw. I'm going to do an activation. Not here anymore. Going to do those activations. Thanks. Everything's in change right now. So Mighty Networks, Halls of Akasa. I'll put up a link. Right now we're keeping that kind of open for anybody who wants to be a part of it. Patreon, I'm not really sure what's happening. So I'm going to say like we're going to be putting the activations probably on both places for now. But doing the activation here in the podcast. Do I need to keep explaining that? I'm still sorting it out in my own head. Excuse me. This is not for you. This is for me because somehow I turned into an extrovert. Like, how did that happen? Extrovert and one who like talks to sort through shit. Yeah, that might have been a consequence of 2020 as well. So we'll do an activation. And if this is where you were signing off with me today, baby, did you get something good in here? Did you take some golden nuggets out of it that help you anchor into a world which is more where you want to be? I hope so. Forgiveness. We talked about that Christed consciousness being very big, all the way up into the equinox in March of 2023. I did it. Yeah. That Christed consciousness, your ability to turn that on. That was January's Akashic update. Should you want to go back and listen to that. Be sweet, be gentle, be present. Be kind to you first. That kindness toward you, that ability to stay in heart will radiate toward others. And it will make you safe for others. If you don't know what to do after this, be safe for you first. So that others, as they are in the throes of something that is very scary, and you might be a few steps ahead, you're a safe space where they can talk about things. Treat it with honesty and treat it with love. And I want to say wait until you're asked. I don't know if that's just a projector thing, but certainly with anybody who's in any level of their awakening, remember how scary it can be when you see things that challenge everything. Because more of that is coming. I love you so much, babe. See you next time.